So today we're in Mullumbimby actually. We're on the outskirts, and a friend of ours has kind of let us come and sort of explore his. He's got 8-10 acres down here. It's absolutely beautiful, and there's a little creek down the bottom. So we're going to cook up some lamb chops on a little hibachi grill today for the pretty good feed. Come on. It's so beautiful. More olive oil to the marinade. We'll grab a little bit. We're cooking with lamb, so it'd be a crime not to use a little bit of rosemary. All right, Pete. How's this? This is mental. Here we go. So with this, so the pretty good feed, what this is about really is cooking outside, trying to show how easy it is to cook on little setups, and what we really want to do is showcase stuff that we like to eat. I get asked all the time from friends that go camping and have got kids and just want kind of no fuss, delicious food. And so this is what we're trying to do out here and on this show. So today we're going to use this little hibachi grill, and this is just an eBay special I picked up for about $85, and I've got this is Gidgee wood, so it grows in the Northern Territory, really fast growing, holds its heat, relatively clean, relatively smokeless. So we use that a lot at the restaurant just so we're not smoking out the guests. So I've used this. I lit this sort of 20-25 minutes ago and just kind of cooked him off. I suppose usual suspects for certainly ingredients that go with lamb and to make a decent salsa verde. So citrus, we've got some garlic from the farm. You need some sort of onion, so we've got a little Spanish onion there, give it a bit of crunch. Mustard, very important. A little bit of heat, and then the lamb itself. So this is how it comes. I just want to kind of talk about this a little bit. Everyone probably cooks lamb chops. Well, what I think is important though is not to trim the bone. Ideally, I would have liked to gotten this bone a little bit longer, sort of caveman style. These have already been trimmed. I was a bit late getting to Warren, but I think next time it'd be nice to leave this on. So you've got this huge, like Captain Caveman style lamb cutlet with all the fat and the meat running along the bone. I actually think that's the best bit. Like back in the day, we had to sort of, as chefs, trim all that stuff up and scrape the bones. It would take ages, and for me, it was a bit of a waste of time because, often certainly in restaurants, like the good bits you kind of trim and you cut away and you don't serve, or there's like little charred, interesting bits around like lamb and chicken and proteins. I think that's the beauty of cooking out, like, in the wilderness or like cooking at home, all that stuff that typically ends up in the bin, you get to enjoy. Just because it doesn't look perfect, sometimes like those unperfect bits are delicious. Anyway, the marinade. Pete, just throw a stone at me because I feel like I'm really waffling on this time. We've got some herbs, so coriander. It's looking a bit sorry for itself, but we're going to kind of smash that up, chop it up. Parsley, curry, and some mint. A little bit of that fennel. So anchovies and capers obviously are great in salsa verdes. I'm going to use this Neptune's necklace. We spoke about in our last ep 1. If you haven't seen it, get online. It's amazing. This is pickled in apple cider vinegar, so these will be great in our salsa verde. So we've got really a mixed bag. So this is going to be for our salsa verde and veg component to today's dish. So we've got broad beans, which are lovely. We've got yellow or golden beans, and we've got some sugar snaps. So we'll leave some of these raw, some will char up, and obviously we'll cook these over the coals and crush them up and fold that through. I feel like I'm being way too descriptive in this dish. All right, let's do some cooking. All right. So first up, I'm going to do a very basic marinade for our lamb. I'm not going to go crazy with heaps of different flavours. Garlic, lemon, olive oil, salt and pepper. I think what we're trying to do with this show, we're trying to kind of simplify simplify your cooking and your recipes. And typically a lot of this stuff is to be enjoyed just with hands. So things like tacos and these little cutlets will just be kind of scoop up the salsa verde, maybe with some sourdough. We did a little sort of breakfast wrap with our last step. So, and I quite like that. I think that's a really nice way to eat. I mean, if you're cooking for, certainly if you're cooking for the family or large groups of friends, not that I've got that many, but if you're cooking for, say, 10, 20, you don't want to have to think about like heaps of different, like, spoons and knives and forks and all that jazz. So I think it's definitely a nice way to eat outside. You see that bottle of olive oil? Some olive oil, decent amount of pepper. Go a little bit more if you like. And then I'm going to use I'll use the juice in the Salsa Verde, so I'll use plenty of this zest in our marinade as well. I've got some of this rosemary, so just a little bit of, just a touch. So really, really coarsely chopped, all this stuff. And then I'm just going to give this a little bit of a move around. It smells amazing. Garlic, lemon, and olive oil. It's like one of my favourite smells. So that's cool, and that would just make, like, it's such a simple marinade. I mean, obviously you could hit that with some spices. You can go paprika, fennel seeds would be really nice, or maybe some chili, fresh chili in there would be great. I'll put that aside now, and so that's our lamb. You could put them on like plain, but I'm just going to coat them with olive oil and salt as well, which will certainly speed up the cooking process. You want these to cook really, really quickly, otherwise they'll just kind of boil, slowly in their own skins. And I still want them kind of nice and vibrant and fresh. So whilst they're cooking away, I'm going to make our Salsa Verde of dreams. Come on, mate. So a little tip. So it's not really doing much. So I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the coals, and just to get, I kind of want to get a bit. I really want it kind of quite aggressive. And I do want a little bit of, I want a bit of flame on there. I'm happy with that now. There's a bit of colour, I'm cool. Now just take a moment, enjoy the scenery. Little cheeky butterfly there. I think Pete missed it, but there was definitely a butterfly. Apparently there's a platypus or a couple of platypus living over there. So, and I think that's important. It's important just to chill. Oh, these are cool now. Gorgeous. So you can see these puppies. That's it. Yeah, mate. Awesome. So that's our beans. I'll pop them to one side. I'm just going to make our Salsa Verde. We're very, very easy. I'll start with our Neptune's necklace, which would be, you could use capers, would be the obvious one. I like these. They've got this awesome kind of, they're salty, they're acidic, and I've got this little pop as well. So a bit of raw garlic. I'm going to char up some of these beans. I think some of these would be quite nice charred as well, mate. Just a little Brucey bonus. Next I'll put some mustard in there for a little bit of heat. My missus always grabs the mustard out whenever I cook it, so I just make sure I put mustard in everything now. So French or English, if you want it a bit hotter, obviously you go a bit of English, but this is just a Dijon mustard is great. We'll just give it a little bit of oomph. Into that, I'm going to use a bit more of that, a little bit more of that zest. A fair amount of lemon juice as well. Give it a little bit of a taste. That's lovely, actually. So if it's too acidic, you could add some honey and stuff, but yeah, I want it with a little bit of go-go. Like, I want you to be able to taste it and almost like kind of salivate. I think that's probably going to do us. A little bit of onion. I'll take these beans off now. They're ready. Cool. And then finally, we're just going to add our herbs. So I've got some coriander, some parsley, and a little bit of mint. So I'm just going to coarsely chop some of this up, like stalks and all. I've just given this a little bit of a rinse. So it's starting to come together. So the smaller ones, without souping it, so the smaller ones I'll just pop straight into our salsa, and then some of these bigger ones I'll chop up. And some of the bigger ones I'll cut up a little bit finer. Getting there, like, it's looking all right, I must say. And then I'm just going to put in some raw snow peas as well. So just a little handful. Give them a little toss. And so that's our salsa. Like obviously it's not a traditional salsa verde, like it's really, really crunchy and chunky, but that'll be beautiful. That'll bring these the lamb cutlets to life. So I'll pop that to one side, and now I'm just gonna cook my cutlets. It does the trick. It does the trick. Like it's making a little noise, Pete. Look, it's not the hottest thing in the world, but it's going to do the job. But yeah, just keep your eye on it. So you can see it now. It's like starting to blacken. It's starting to render. You can see it kind of sizzling away. So you have to keep your eye on it. These don't take very long at all. Like they're really, really thin. So like 2 or 3 minutes each side. See, I'll just flip these guys over, and that's awesome. That's kind of what you look. And that. Fucking hell. All right, so flip these over. And that's kind of what you're after. You just sort of to char up nicely. The fat will start to, you can see the sort of fat bubbling away, starting to render down. So it wants to be, you want to kind of cook them fairly aggressively. Just give them a little bit of a prod. And these are kind of, they're almost there actually. A little bit of fresh fennel. And I'm going to just pop a little bit of fresh chili for some heat.
You're going to go for the chili.
I know, I can't help myself. Yeah. There we go. That's our lamb cutlets with the broad bean salsa verde. I do encourage you to try that. I'm just going to grab this now and just have a little try. Got a mouthful of food, but that's what you want. You want the lamb, nice and juicy, like blushing. It's kind of crunchy, sweet, acidic, kind of smoky salsa verde on top. I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. Back at you next week. That sounds so like Boyzone or something.